How do you see the potential of Bulgaria as an outsourcing destination?
That's an interesting question.
You mentioned the Philippines.
Yeah.
In comparison to Philippines or Asia.
We started the research for placing a shared service center here in 2011. So my first visit here was in like February of 2011, and like I told you, it was one of many sites that we were looking. And I think we were actually kind of pleasantly surprised by what we saw when we got here, right? So I've been to probably 30 or 40 different countries doing analysis for these types of studies.
Countries in Europe or
both? We looked hard at about a dozen countries in Europe, and we settled on 4. So we looked at Krakow, we looked at Bucharest, we looked at Lisbon, and we looked at Sofia as our 4 finalists. And when we started, when you look at something on a what we call a desktop study, Sofia appeared to be too small, right? I was kind of concerned with the size of the market and the availability of the labor pool and the technical skills. And I think when we got here, we saw that, the government's been very proactive in trying to grow into this space and developing programs to support this space. And I think from our perspective, the culture was really aligned with what we're looking for in terms of a balance of technical skills and customer service. And in my mind, one of the things that I really liked is that the candidates that we interviewed were very ambitious. The young people in this market, they want to grow, they want to learn, they want to work for multinational companies, they want to try new and different things and be able to travel and work in very dynamic environments. And that's something that's quite appealing to us because that's the type of labor pool that we're looking for. So I think one of the concerns I have, again, is the size of the market. In 2011, there was only a few large players in the space. And there's been a few additional entrants, and I think one of the things that I've seen over time when you look at markets like India or the Philippines or China is that you could experience saturation to the point where you get large spikes in attrition, or if the infrastructure is not developing in conjunction with the growth of the market, it can be dangerous, right? So if you're not producing enough graduates, or you're not producing enough people with language skills, or you have so many new entrants to the market that wages start increasing to the point where it becomes difficult to maintain in the market. Those are some of the challenges that we watch out for. And we've had a few little spikes here and there, not anything that we can't manage, but it's something that we continue to observe. And that probably because the labor market's a bit smaller in terms, if you can compare it to like Krakow or Manila's got 600,000 people in this space. Bangalore in India's got over 1 million people in this space, whereas in this market you're talking about 15,000-20,000 people in the BPO and shared services space. That is something we have to observe and make sure that as long as the government and the educational system and the infrastructure continues to grow and meet the demands of the labor market, that we would stay and definitely continue in the growth here in Sofia. But I think that's probably one of our only concerns, is just the size and how the market evolves over the next 5+ years.
And in this sense, do you cooperate with local universities?
Yeah, we're doing quite a bit of that in terms of internship programs, partnering with universities, recruiting firms. We stay pretty close to the government, making sure that we understand the dynamics and changes in labor laws and the way that they're interacting with, industry associations for BPO and shared services. We stay as close as possible to those types of industry efforts to make sure that we understand the trends in the market.